Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Paralegal Certificate Course Informational webinar presented by the Center for Legal Studies. Today's webinar will start with a presentation by Stephanie Elio, Vice President of Business Development at the Center for Legal Studies. Following the presentation, we will allocate approximately 10 minutes for a live Q&A session. During this time, you are encouraged to submit your questions via the Q&A feature. Our enrollment counselors will either respond directly or we will address your questions live. If we are unable to address your question during the live webinar, we will provide our contact information at the end of the presentation so you can reach out to us afterward. Without further ado, I will now hand it over to Stephanie to start today's presentation. Take it away, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you, Deja. Appreciate you. And welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us today and learn about the Paralegal Certificate course. We'll take a quick whip through what the agenda will cover today, an introduction about who the Center for Legal Study is. We'll go over the ground rules. I'll tell you right now, they're really simple. We've got some enrollment counselors in the background that are here to answer questions while the presentation is going on. So when you submit a question, please be kind, make it relevant. They will get to you as quickly as they can. And as just mentioned, if we don't get to it by any chance, then we will afterward and we'll send you an email. And you can always reach out to our enrollment counselors during normal business hours. We're going to talk today about the 100% online learning formats. You'll learn the difference between the online self-study, live lecture via Zoom. Be able to make a better decision about which format's right for you. Course grading time, commitments, how students feel about our courses. We'll dive into the actual meat of the course and what the learning outcomes look like, how those interactive assessments work, some more information about our advanced programs, digital badging, and then the career outlook itself, what the earning potential looks like, which type of industries are hiring paralegals, and what up and coming areas of the law are in focus. We'll talk about how to enroll. I'll give you a little bit more information and insight into how we work with our college and university partners and what that means for you, what the actual costs of the courses are, and the materials that are required for those. And then we'll get into that live Q&A. Let's go ahead and dig right in, Deja. So who is the Center for Legal Studies? You'll see our logo, and we're referred to a couple of different ways. The Center for Legal Studies, which is our long name, we are part of Barbary Global. So when you see it, it might say CLS by Barbary. It would say Center for Legal Studies, a Barbary company. CLS was actually founded in 1980. So we have been training paralegals for 40 plus years. 46 to be precise. And we became part of Barbary, which is the largest legal education provider in the world that specializes in specifically legal education in 2019. And we are very proud to be part of Barbary. Why would you want to enroll in this course? We work hard to maintain affordable course fees. That goes from not only the course fee itself, but the books and materials that are necessary to complete and be successful in completing this training. We have ebooks that can be in place of hardback books, and those options are available on our website in our bookstore, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We do work hard to also make sure that the formats are flexible. Everybody's life is different. You know, some people do have a lot of time to dedicate to this program. Many others don't. They may be pursuing other education. They may have a full-time job, full-time family, aging parents they're caring for, community commitments, you name it. There's a lot of things going on in everyone's lives. So the flexibility of these courses are tailored to be able to juggle everything at the same time. The credibility of not only our content, but our staff is very notable. Our staff are experienced professionals. The instructors for CLS courses are experienced, currently working licensed attorneys or very high-ranking paralegals. And they have a unique combination of that experience. It's not only the educational experience, but teaching experience on top of that. CLS offers a lot of other courses beyond the paralegal certificate that we're primarily discussing today. We have courses like legal nurse consultant training, medical professional consultant, legal secretary, victim advocacy, e-discovery, alternative dispute resolution, legal investigation. The catalog is vast. There is a ton of information for all of those on our website at legalstudies.com. If you haven't been there yet, I encourage you to peruse it. CLS actually trains more students than any other legal institute in the US for legal support personnel. Our courses are designed to be on pace with the current industry. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, the instructors are not just teachers, they're not just legal professionals, but they're currently working in the field. So definitely on pace with what's going on in today's industry. Go into the 100% online format. So before we dig into what you see on your screen, I want to talk about our academic calendar. For our standard online classes, which is everything in our catalog, is offered in the traditional online format. Our calendar is broken down into 6 7-week sessions. Every single course that we offer is offered every single session. So any course in our catalog is available online 6 times per year. Now, every course we offer is completed in a 7-week term, except the paralegal that we're talking about and the advanced, which we'll discuss as well. The paralegal certificate is actually completed in 14 weeks, which requires 2 of those 7-week sessions. We offer the first half and second half of the paralegal certificate course every session. So 6 times a year, the first half and the second half are offered. You only need to determine when you want to start. So if you're looking at our sessions, and we are just wrapping up session 1 now, the next available is session 2, starts on March 9th. You would absolutely be starting the first half of the paralegal certificate. When you pay your course fee, it's going to automatically enroll you in the next session that follows. So they are required to be back to back. You do not pay the course fee twice. You pay it once, you pick your start date, we'll automatically enroll you in the one that follows. Okay? Included in our virtual classrooms, there are discussion forums, which you are required to participate on a weekly basis. There's a built-in email tool for easy communication with your instructors and your classmates. The weekly assignment deadlines are there to help you stay on track. The course is completed in 14 weeks. There is a 10-day break in between those 2 7-week sessions. And with that weekly schedule, you will be finishing on time. That is the goal. More than 85% of our students complete this course within the time allotted, on time, without need for any kind of extension or anything else. When I mentioned we have been training paralegals for 46 years, we have a lot of experience in knowing how much time it's going to take to get through everything you need to learn to be trained and go out and work as a paralegal. You do have 24/7 access into our system, so no special software required. You simply need internet access. And when the course begins, some of you that are attending today may already be registered. Many of you may be waiting until after this webinar to get yourself registered. Your username and password do not go out when you register. They go out the first day of class. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, but you're already registered, not to worry. They go out on Monday morning, March 9th. The entire country, world, anyone that's registered for a course with CLS will get their username and password at the same time. Once you get that, you have 24/7 access into the system whilst the course is in session. Now, does that mean that you have to be logged in 24/7? Absolutely not. The reasonable amount of time for someone to complete this course is approximately 8 to 12 hours a week. How would you gauge if you're on the high or the low end of that average? A lot of it's based on reading comprehension. There's a lot of reading in this program. If you're the type of person that has strong comprehension, you read quickly, you retain well, you're able to regurgitate it back quickly, then you're going to be on the shorter end. If you're honestly like me, I tend to read a little bit slower, not because it's got nothing to do with intelligence. I think I'm pretty smart, but I just read for stronger comprehension at a slower rate, so it may take me, an extra hour or two there. That varies from person to person. If you get in this course and you find that you're spending 15 plus hours a week on this coursework, including your reading and your assignments, you might be overthinking something. You might have gone down a rabbit hole and taken a detour when you shouldn't have. There's email tools in this system, and you should communicate with your instructor. Touch base with them and figure out where you're at, because that average of 8 to 12 hours per week is derived from training tens of thousands of paralegals that have come before you. Now, in comparison to this traditional online format, let's move the slide forward and talk for a minute about the self-study format. So regardless of how you take the class, whether it's the standard online in that 14 weeks or the self-study, which we're going to talk about now, or the live lecture, which we'll talk about next, the content of the course is the same. The learning objectives are the same. The assignments that you're doing are the same. What is different is the time in which you complete the course or expected to complete the course, what your start dates are. So we already established that the standard online paralegal certificate is a 14-week course. It is delivered over 2 7-week sessions. There are 6 start dates per year. Next, the self-study format. That course is delivered in a self-paced environment. You are able to work at your own pace rather than have weekly assignments charted out for you. You move through the course at your pace. You have 6 months to complete the program, and your clock starts ticking the day you register. So if your goal, this is something I tell any student I'm speaking to personally and absolutely our webinar attendees. If your goal is to complete the program faster than the 14 weeks, and you select self-study because your goal is speed, unless you have nothing else going on in your life and can dedicate 100% of your time to this program, it is unrealistic to expect that you're going to complete a self-study format faster than the standard 14-week online. The self-study format is designed for someone who needs added flexibility, who actually needs a longer timeline, not a shorter one. They still have the option of interacting with an instructor. There's still a dedicated instructor for the program. Again, you're learning the same objectives. You're doing the same course. It's just the timeline is different. If you want to start today or tomorrow, you don't want to wait for March 9th, then And if you are a very self-motivated learner, you manage your own time well. You can stick to a schedule that you create and not have life interfere and distract you from it, then self-study may absolutely be the way for you to go. But if you have a conversation with yourself and find that, a little more structure may be better for me, then go with the standard online, March 9th. Either way, you're going to be learning the same things. Our goal for you is not to tell you which format to pick. It's for you to have choices to select the format that is best for you. We want you to be successful. And that's the bottom line of that. We want you to own these skills when you complete the program so that you are ready to go out in the world and get your next role and put the paralegal skills to work. Our third format is the live lecture. We do those about 3 times a year. Those are the difference between the standard online, the self-study, and this live. It's still called live lecture because that's what we've always called it. It's evolved a little bit post-COVID. We used to put instructors on college campuses in a classroom, and it would literally be live, just like any other college course you're taking on campus. When COVID hit, the world changed. And so we changed with it. We moved our live lecture series to Zoom classes. And what we learned through that process was that all the benefits our students were getting from the real-time in-person delivery was still accomplished on Zoom. And they were still learning at the same rate, at the same pace, and with the same type of reviews and the content from the students. The live lectures we have 3 times per year. We do a spring class, a summer class, and a fall class. We have not all of our partner schools participate in the live lecture delivery format, but the ones that do, we group them together by time zone. So 3 times a year, we'll have a Pacific time zone class. We'll have a Mountain time zone class, Central and East Coast. The time frame in which to complete they vary, scheduled by which time zone that class is being delivered in. 8 to 12 weeks is the standard. The next ones, I believe, start in June. Someone can correct me if I am wrong. We just completed the enrollment and those classes already started for February, so it is too late to get into those. The next opportunity to begin is either self-study, where you would start any day you want, or the March 9th. I keep trying to say May, but I mean March. It is March 9th is our next standard online date. The Zoom classes, one thing to keep in mind, it's really nice to be in that live class. It's because you can save your gas and you don't have to drive to campus. You don't have to worry about parking or any of that kind of thing. But there's an attendance requirement. You must be in front of your computer and complete 80% real-time attendance over the entire course, where you're not watching something recorded later. You have to physically be there. 80% to pass. And that is without doing a single assignment or anything else. That's the first rule of that program. So if you've got the time, sometimes those classes are Tuesday and Thursday nights, or Wednesday and Friday, or Wednesday and Saturday. They're custom schedules. You'll need to look on our website for the one that works for you. And keep in mind they are based on time zones. So lots of different formats. One is not better than the other. It's simply a matter of which one is the best fit for you. You're going to exit the course and complete the course regardless of format with the same set of skills. This chart that's coming up on the next slide gives you a little better insight into these formats. We didn't talk about the text-only one. I'm very briefly going to let you know that that is for someone who does not have access to the internet. All of you here today on this webinar have managed internet access because you're here. So I would not recommend that format for you. It's for people with some very restrictive lives or no internet access whatsoever. So the choices are, someone who prefers a structured schedule, online. Someone who wants to learn independently, doesn't really see the value of having classmates with them. Those online, by the way, I didn't say it, but I will now. We cap all of our classes online out at about 30 to 35 students max to maintain a low student teacher ratio. With the self-study, you're in a class of one by yourself. You've got connectivity to the instructor, but you will lose the connectivity with other students. The live lecture, those tend to range anywhere from 15 to 35 students in live lecture classes. Start dates, 6 dates per year for online, anytime for self-study and live lecture. We've got those custom dates you'll need to look up. And then you can see through the rest of this chart what the time commitments are, and then some commonalities between them. When it's limited instructor communication for self-study, it because the online instructors, they're grading assignments every week. They've got more office hours, and the course is condensed into that 14 weeks, where the 6-month timeline for self-study, you might be waiting a little bit longer for an instructor response. You've still got the access to them, but your response time might be a little delayed. So regardless of format, how are the courses graded? We already went into time commitment, so I'm going to skip that on this slide, but we do need to talk about the grading policies at CLS. We have always maintained that 70% is a minimum passing score on any assignment. That includes any test, any quiz, even your bulletin board participation. 70% minimum passing. Natural question that comes next. What happens if I have a really bad day or there's an objection or objective taught that I just didn't grasp and I don't score 70%? Am I going to fail the program? No, you will not. We do not grade on a curve. So every single assignment must have 70% or better. If worst case scenario, you have one, and it happens from time to time to everyone, even the best students. If that happens, you will have an opportunity to redo it. This program is not about memorizing a bunch of stuff to pass a test. This course is about developing skills that upon completion you will own, and you will take them with you, and you will use them in your everyday life in this next career or promotion or whatever you're looking to do with the skills you leave here with. So if you bomb one, don't sweat it. You'll communicate with the instructor. They'll let you know why it's wrong, what was wrong, and give you an opportunity to redo it. We're looking for success, something you can take with you, not just a quick grade. We do also provide administrative and technical support for all of our students throughout your program. We have a support team that also does admin work, and then we have IT support as well. So those are available to all registered students during their programs. And we've been talking about all the things we expect from students, some feedback from them. There are a ton of testimonials and reviews on our website. After you complete a course, you will get an eval. Every course we deliver gets an eval at the end. Our students fill those out. We actually read them. We listen to what our students say. 95%, which I'm very proud to say, have said that the courses are more flexible than other programs. They're able to juggle that life work study balance. CLS is on pace. They are learning current relevant things that they need for the current industry. And they do recommend. I can speak personally because I've spoken to so many students. I know that they recommend CLS to their friends and family. We speak to parents. I was downloading calls for someone new that's coming in to work with us just this week. So I was listening to a bunch of recorded student calls to use for training purposes. And several of them were prospective students saying, my sister's a paralegal. I got my certificate with you and I want to recommend this to her. Or I heard about this because my mom took your program 20 years ago and I want to do it now. We hear that all the time. And that is the best endorsement that we can get. They also return to further their education because the paralegal certificate that we're talking about today is the core foundation. That catalog I mentioned earlier with other courses enable you to build on that core training and further your expertise and your skill set. With the course itself, before we jump into talking about any advanced, let's take a look at what those learning objectives are in the paralegal certificate course. So here it says learning outcomes, objectives, same type of thing. Legal research, you will learn how to use Westlaw effectively to do legal research, real, not hypothetical. You will do legal writing. You'll create an appellate brief in this program. You will learn about civil procedure. Ethics is a component of every course that we teach. You will learn how to properly do legal citation, rules of evidence, torts, contracts, etc. There is a full syllabus for this course and every other course that we offer on our website. That differentiates us from other programs as well. They may give you a synopsis, small paragraph about what you're going to learn in a college level course. We actually publish the syllabus for you before you register. You'll see it'll be broken out into Paralegal 1 and Paralegal 2. And we've already established the 2 7-week sessions that make up the 14-week training, and you only pay the course fee one time. You're not going to pay it twice, but it lists out all the learning objectives for the entire program. It does have that detailed synopsis. It also goes through the reading charts and the syllabus. It has the book lists that you need, which are placed multiple spots on our website. In the bookstore itself, when you're registering for the course, it'll automatically add the required books. If there's one you already have, you can certainly take it out of your shopping cart when you finish up and check out. But take note when you are registering for the course, if it says required books, it means required books. You're not going to be successful in this program if you don't have the books that it tells you need. And you can see that very visibly on the reading charts in the syllabus itself. There are in this course recorded video lectures, and those you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer at any particular time. That 24/7 access I mentioned when we started chatting today, the instructor is going to post what your written and reading assignments are for the week, typically on a Monday morning. Your deadline's not going to be till the end of the week to turn in whatever may be due, whether it's take a quiz, take a test, do an assignment, or watch a video. You can log on at 5 o'clock in the morning, lunchtime at noon, 9 o'clock at night after you put the kids to bed. It really doesn't matter when you choose to log in and get the instructions from your instructor. And when you choose to do that work, when you do your readings, entirely up to you. You manage that week to week. You just need to turn it in by the time they say it's due. You will, on these formative assessments, the 2 boxes on the right, those are for you to get immediate feedback on how your retaining the information, what your understanding is, how you're managing with the new vocabulary, which there is a ton of it. If you have not worked in the legal profession before, which we have people that have, we have many people that have not. That is not a prerequisite to take this program. If you have not worked in the legal profession before, the vocabulary is sometimes foreign and there's a ton of it. So those flashcard assignments and the formative assessments you can do throughout your program at will with instant feedback are priceless. Those are really helpful in your studying and really learning to get that information and own it. There are some nuances across the country, not a ton, but paralegal is an unregulated profession nationwide. There are no regulations for paralegal training except in California. California actually has legislated regulations that are under the California Business and Professions Code 6450. You can look up that code. It's also on our website. We have a whole page dedicated to it. But in a nutshell, basically what that code says is you must invest X number of hours in your training to work as a paralegal in the state of California. It's 24 semester units, which translates into the clock hours that we calculate in. To make it easy for you, the exact combination of our paralegal certificate course and our advanced paralegal certificate course equal the precise number of units you need for training to be in compliance with the California Code. So with that, if you live in California, you intend to continue living in California, you plan to work as a paralegal in California, and you have no other substantive legal training that qualifies under this code, then you will need to take the core paralegal certificate that we've been talking about and the advanced paralegal certificate course, which will take you an additional, at minimum, an additional 14 weeks. So for California folks, that would be 14 weeks for your core and 14 weeks for your advanced. Just like the first and second half of paralegal are offered every single term, in advanced, which we're going to flip on to the next slide, you're going to see 16 specialty topics of law. Each one of these classes, each one of these titles is a 7-week class. Every single one of these titles is available every course through the year, every session. So each title is available 6 times per year. You need to complete 6 of them to be in compliance with the code. And you can take those fast or slow. That is entirely up to you. There is a nice discount if you do a bundle and you register for all 6 at once. You can't take all 6 in a 7-week term. That load is too heavy. But we do allow students to take 3 at a time. That's where I got to. You could complete advanced paralegal in an additional 14 weeks. You would do 3 plus 3 in 2 more 7-week terms. Or you can go slow. You could take 1 at a time over 6 terms. You could take, 2, and then it's summertime and your kids are out of school and you don't want to be studying during that time and you want to pick it back up in the fall. You could skip a session and then take a few more when they go back. Anything's okay in how you carry that load. And you can even change it if you start, with 1 or 2 and you think you could handle 3 the next term, you can do that. And we'll be flexible with that. The total timeline rule for completion of advanced paralegal certificate topics is 1 year from the time you take the first topic. So any combination, but maxes out at 3 in a session, you can complete those advanced. Now, I have been talking about that will put you in compliance with the California Business and Professions Code, which it absolutely will. What about all the students who aren't in California? You don't have to take the advanced program, but I'm going to tell you, I've been here for 17 years and 50+% of our students that are not in California, they take these advanced topics. Why? Because the more skills you have, the more valuable you are. The more you bring to the table for your current or prospective or next employer, and the more opportunities you have. Whether you take one or you take six or you take all 16. We've had students do that as well. The more skills you have, the more marketable you are, and the more control you have over where you want to work. I'm frequently asked, what topics should I choose? We offer a very wide variety because everybody's different. I can tell you that if it was not a valid topic that has value out in the world and was not popular with our students, we would cease to offer it. So if it's on the list, it absolutely is a valuable course. Whether it's a fit for you personally, that's a decision for you to make. If you are registering for advanced paralegal and you want to get that extra discount, register for all six. Let's say you start one or two in your plan that you've made and what you've prepaid. If you want to change topics, not midst of taking one, you can't change in the middle of a class. But let's say you pay for all six up front, you start two, and then you have four more to take. And after taking those first two, you change your mind about which titles you want in your other four. Pardon me. That is absolutely acceptable. You can do that. You'll just submit a request to the support team and they'll change your titles for your courses down the road. No worries there. The voluntary and the marketability of taking these additional course is a real thing. It absolutely has value, whether you do one or all 16 or anything in between. California folks, not a choice. You're going to need to take them. The rest of you, I encourage you to do so. So once you get through this program, what are you going to get when you're done? One, those skills you're going to walk away with that once you learn something and you own it, no one can ever take it away. That's yours. But we're also going to send you off with a Credly badge, which is your digital certificate. You still get a certificate that you can either print out. A lot of our partner schools are going green these days, so you may be printing it out yourself. They'll send you an electronic version, but you can do that and, in the old-fashioned way, frame it and put it on your wall. The digital badge, because you don't take your wall with you when you go to an interview, you don't take it with you when you go to submit a resume, but the digital badge, you absolutely can. It not only says which course you completed with the dates and the partner school you took it through, it lists all the objectives that you learned and developed in this program, which is awesome because what's an employer looking for? Yes, they went to school. Yes, they got a certificate. In the back of their mind, what did they learn when they did that? What skills are they bringing to the table? How are they going to help me do what I need done in this firm or this organization or this office? You can drill down into a digital badge and it will show all of that. There's also real job postings when you drill down to that digital badge. Requirements, salaries, all of those kind of things. You can explore next steps and related badges. So it's really a fabulous tool that you get. And one of the places that people post their badges is LinkedIn. So if you're using LinkedIn, you absolutely want to share it there. If you've got your own website, you can add it to your email signature. And it's a big plus to walk away from a completed program with. And you'll see here that there is a standalone badge for the paralegal certificate. So that's the core training. And then if you do take six, you get the advanced badge. But each and every topic, for those of you that are thinking, I finished my core, I'm not in California, I just want to take a couple of extra topics to start, or I did my certificate a long time ago and I'm going to change jobs. I used to work in a family law firm and now I'm going to go work in the finance industry and need e-discovery skills. You may just want to take one or something like that, and you'll get a badge for that. Historically, you only got badges for completed full-blown certificates, not subtopics. Now you get a digital badge for each. So we're really happy about that upgrade for our students. So we're talking about work and where you're going to go, who's hiring. Literally everyone, anywhere, everywhere. Um, Almost every industry hires paralegals. They literally work everywhere. Everybody knows they work in law firms. That's just a given. They also work in real estate, state and county agencies, higher education, universities, colleges. They have a legal department. Every corporation out there has a legal department. They hire paralegals. We have paralegals that work here at Barbary. Finance and banking, car dealerships. Hire someone with paralegal skill set to do contract work. Nonprofits, for profits. The opportunities are really endless. And you one comment that I hear from career seekers, and when I go and I just check the boards every now and then to keep myself on pace with what's being talked about out there, you'll hear this direct from me, and I honestly believe this because I talk to hiring managers as well. There's a lot of job postings out there that say they want to hire somebody with experience. Apply for that job anyway. They put that in the job post because they want to weed people out that don't have any skills whatsoever. You are walking out of this program when you complete it with the skills they're looking for. Unless they say the job post says 5 to 10 years experience, if it just says experience preferred or we want you to have 1 year experience, apply for that role. Our students get those placements. So do not let that turn you away. As far as working from home, those opportunities are real, but don't expect to walk into that and demand it. In this industry, it tends to be something that is earned, and it will vary from employer to employer. There is no set standard at this point. It's more common post-COVID, and there are absolutely firms and opportunities. There's people that do contract work and work as an independent. If that's your goal, you don't actually want to work for a law firm or work for anyone in particular, and you want to contract out your services, then I want to advise you to pay very particular attention during the course when the instructor goes over the following. They will teach you exactly what a paralegal can and cannot do with or without the supervision of a licensed attorney. I'm going to say that again. You will be taught what a paralegal can and cannot do with or without the supervision of a licensed attorney. Those rules are pretty strict, and you'll learn them during this course. So if you intend to work as an independent paralegal, not under the direct supervision of a licensed attorney, then if you've got questions, ask during your course and check in on that. Take a lot of notes and capture that information. There's opportunities out there. There's people that, work freelance. They advertise their skills on Craigslist or other like platforms, and they do contract work. There's others that are looking for full-time employment that come with benefits and a nice office chair, and all of that is out there as well. So the opportunities again are endless, and whatever is the best fit for you, we want to make sure you've got the skills to make that come true. Career resources and tools that we offer to our students. We have a Career Outlook webinar that is hosted by actual hiring professionals that give you insights into what they are looking for, advice and tips, and all kinds of other awesome information. You get an exclusive invite to that gated experience when you complete 60% of the course. So it is an exclusive invitation for all of those that complete 60% or better. There's also a one-step guide, career planning tools. We can do resume review and job alert reminders. There's a CLS blog that is constantly published to provide you additional information and a resource guide. For all of our years of experience, we've put together a wealth of just hints and tips and little tidbits that can make your life a little easier so you have them all in one place. We do not do job placement, but we absolutely provide the resource tools for you to go out and find your placement. And once you do, what's salary looking like? What's your earning potential? Going to vary, just like cost of living varies from coast to coast and where you are in the country, rural versus urban. It's going to vary here a little bit too. We pulled the numbers that you see on this slide from the U.S. Department of Labor. They produce every other year an occupational outlook handbook with the United States median salaries. So federal government's going to be at the top of that. Finance and insurance, local government, legal services, those are going to be more nonprofits, legal aid, things like that are a little lower. Some of those jobs don't pay, but if you want to get some experience while you're searching for a full-time role, we do recommend that. Doing some volunteer work. State and government, again, they're going to vary. You can seek the salary occupational handbook yourself by going to bureaulaborstatistics.gov, and that's the most current. The paralegal profession continues to be on the Bright Outlook list. It is something that we have not added a slide in for, but I'll mention quickly. AI is not replacing paralegals. It is enhancing their work. It is coming into the industry and enabling them to be more efficient and take on more work, not only efficient, but what's the word? More accurate. But it's certainly not, and we see no signs of it replacing paralegals. So the job opportunities are not going down. This remains a growing profession. In a few of my statements, I have mentioned to you that we work with partner institutions. When you complete this program, your certificate does not say, your certificate of completion will not say it came from Barbary. It's not going to say it came from CLS. Your digital badge will. And some of the certificates, they kind of dually brand them. But when you register, you are going to select one of our, and we've got about 150. What you see on the screen right now is a sampling. We work with about 150 accredited college and university partners in the US. We do not have international partnerships. They are all in the United States. We do have a partner or two in Hawaii, but that's still part of the United States. And the courses are offered through the continuing and professional education departments at these institutions. Every single institution we work with is an accredited school. The certificate of completion you earn will be issued by that school that you designate when you register. It is our advice that you register for the school closest to you. If you're going to be living there, that's where you're going to be working. That is a logical choice. Doesn't mean you have to go on campus, but when you are going out and applying for your next position, you want a school name that, looks like it's local, that you didn't go to school, 1,000 miles away, and then you have to answer why you're living here now and all of that. The school that you choose, it really should be the one closest to you. And we have all but, I think, 5 or 6 states at this point. We have representation for partner schools. If by chance you live in one of those few little states that we do not have a current partner, pick the neighboring state. If you happen to be alum of one of the institutions and you moved and you don't live there anymore, but you want your certificate to come from wherever you got your bachelor's or your master's, which we have students that have PhDs that come and take this course. I didn't discuss it earlier, but I will briefly now. The minimum required to take this program is 18 years old, and you must have a high school diploma or GED. That doesn't mean we want you to dig it out of the basement and prove to us you have it. We say that because these courses are in partnership with college and universities. They are open enrollment. You don't need to apply to the school. You simply register through us. But they are college level courses. And the reason for the high school diploma or GED requirement is because they're taught on a college level. You need to read and write on a college level to be successful in this program. So that is a necessity. Once you have established that, you've picked the format that you want, you've picked the dates that you want to start, the next step is enrollment. And the course fee for the online and the self-study is currently $2,095. If you select the live lecture or the text only, it is $2,195. That is the course fee. The required textbooks are roughly $400. I mentioned earlier there are some books that you can get ebooks versus a physical book. If you choose to do that, the ebooks are a little bit lower cost, so you could reduce them there. Westlaw access is a requirement. We talked about doing legal research, and that is utilized through Westlaw, all those assignments. So that is a required tool. And you'll need that during the second half. So if by chance you're going to get your books now, you want to split up your fees a little bit, you could always get your books now and then right before you register or right before class starts, do your course fee and then get your Westlaw at the halfway mark. Remember, it's 7 plus 7 and there's 10 days in between. You could get your Westlaw before the second half. You don't need it in the first half. But doing your course fee and your required books up front, you can also put that into an affirmed payment plan or a pay in four. So really, whatever works best for you. By bundling it all together all at once and putting it in a firm, you could split it out into 18 months worth of payment plan. From 3 to 18, there's no hard hit on your credit report to see if you qualify for a firm. It's got a pretty wide range of acceptance. It's available at our checkout cart, so you can certainly inquire about that. You could also utilize the PayPal or Pay in 4 plans. And if you want to manage your own payback, put it on a credit card. We don't do checks, personal checks. There's no auto check on the checkout. If you've got a company that is paying for the course for you and they need to mail a check, we don't have as much of that as we used to, but it would have to be mailed to our Dallas main offices. And then your registration ends up a little bit delayed. So credit card is really best. And if it's a third party payer, there is a way to check out where someone else can pay for you for your course and still identify you as the student. If you have any questions about that process, we do have enrollment counselors that are available Monday through Friday, and they're on the phones taking, calling prospective students and taking inbound calls from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our direct number is 1-800-522-4700. 7737. You can also send emails to info@legalstudies.com. Those go straight to our enrollment counselors. And our website is, of course, legalstudies.com. I think we have a little bit of time for some questions. I'm sorry, I believe I may have run over, Deja. What have you got?
No, I think it was perfect timing. So I do have a few questions here. Let's see. Can students enroll at any session or is a session one start required?
Every course is available every session. We offer the first half and second half of the paralegal program in every session. So that means paralegal one is offered 6 times per year, and you take the second half in the one that follows. So, no, you do not need to wait for session one. You could start in session six and do session six of 2026 and do the second half of your program in session one of 27.
Perfect. Thank you. Um, what is the policy for students who need to pause training and return later?
Um, that is not an easy question to answer. My reply on that would be, why would you need to pause? You want to plan ahead. If there is a crisis that occurs in your life, it's like any other education program. You would contact the support team and, let them know what's going on, and you would find out if you can. This is not a stop and start at will world here. You would need a bona fide reason for starting. So, an example of that would be, terrible, worst case, don't wish it on anyone, but let's say you start your course with every intention you're going to finish in 14 weeks. And then, worst case scenario, you go to a medical appointment, you're diagnosed with something terrible, or you have an accident and now you're disabled and need time to recover. Something like that happens. You would contact the support team and they will make arrangements for a start and a stop and a restart. But it would need to be a bona fide reason. It's not just something you can do at will.
Perfect. Thank you. Is this program eligible for FAFSA or grants?
No. Federal financial aid monies are for degree seeking students when you're going to be in school 2 to 4 years. This is not a degree program. This is a open enrollment non-credit certificate program. It's a job skills training course is what it is. The difference between this and a degree program, yes, you may be able to get financial aid, but you're going to be there for 2 to 4 years. And you're not going to learn any more job skills in 2 to 4 years than you will in this 14 weeks. We've taken out the academic theory. We've taken out all the extra courses that have nothing to do with the job that you'd be required to take in a longer program and honed in on the skills you actually need to do the job. So, bottom line, no, they're not available. Are there grants? There are some alternative funding sources. Some of our schools actually have grants. Some of our partner schools that are able to send students through. That Sally Mae funding is another one. Workforce investment stuff. If you are looking for some type of alternative funding beyond the affirmed payment plan or paying for or simply checking out with a credit card, I highly recommend you reach out to our enrollment counselors. And one will be assigned to you if they are not already, and they can advise you on what options are available out there.
Perfect. All right, we had time for just one more question. Does the certificate carry the name of a specific partner university?
It absolutely does. The one you designate when you register. You will be required to select one of our partner schools when you register.
All right, perfect. Well, I want to go ahead and thank you, Stephanie, and thank you all for joining us today. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact us. Our enrollment counselors are always ready to assist you. We will be sending out the recording of this webinar via email by the end of the week in case you'd like to watch it again. Our next online session starts on Monday, March 9th, or you can enroll in the course today and complete it at your own pace with our self-study format. Thank you once again, and a special thanks to Stephanie for her invaluable insights today. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you. Can't wait to see you in class.